15 years. Learned a lot of things the hard way. We try to find out so you guys don't do the same thing. It's like I said, I'd rather not see that happen to many more people. Like I said, I learned a lot of things the hard way that I wish if there'd been internet around, the forums, all this stuff back in the day, would have been a lot better. So, who's been in business more than 5 years? So, how about 10 years? Damn. All right, let's go 15. All right, should I say 20? Damn. All right, cool. I don't feel too old then. I'm good, thanks. No offense, guys. It's all right. First off in the audience, like I said, we got a couple random questions here. Like this just be the embarrassing question type deal, but you know, there's really no question that should be embarrassed to ask. I mean, you don't want to learn, like I said, the hard way, or you know, put somebody in a dangerous situation yourself or your employees. I've got some interesting ones here. I think some of you know who wrote some of these questions. It's great. Jeez.
He said funny questions. Embarrassing ones.
No, we're all good. It's all good. Like I said, this is gonna be an open forum, so I don't have to be the only one to answer these. It's that helps out quite a bit. I got quite a few online too that came in that were kind of around the same speed as these. Well, let's just start off with one, for instance, and we can kind of judge how we're going to go from here on this. And like I said, feel free to raise your hand if you actually wrote this. All right. What is the difference between a pint and a tall pint? Right?
4 ounces. I learned that last night.
4 ounces.
A tall pint is empty.
Okay.
4 ounces.
Actually, you're going to be calm because he knows the difference.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be embarrassed to ask that question.
There he has the word.
Oh.
Because, you know, we want to drink the beer.
All right, that one's out of the way. So you can say that for later. I guess it come in handy. I'm not a drinker, so don't feel I feel stupid. I don't know what a pint is. To be honest with you, I know what a. Well, never mind. I won't get on that.
You don't know what a pint is?
I know what a pint is. I'm sorry, it's the drinking thing. Like I said, a pint. I believe it or not, I don't drink. I know I act like it. Yes, that's the times, but
You
I don't
got a pint
drink.
and a can of pain too.
There you go. Good idea. All right, let's get to number 2 here. I'm chiming on that one. My one here. What the hell does that say? Why do you guys? Maybe I should pre-screen some of these first. All right, yeah, let's get that one. What cleans better for roof cleaning, chlorine or SH?
Chlorine's a gas.
All right. Yeah, we got that one narrowed down. Any other insight on that? I mean, besides the gas thing, like I said, people might not know the difference.
Yeah, chlorine, you know, chlorine's, I guess you could say chlorine's what does the work. Sodium hypochlorite is like chlorine forced into a liquid solution. It can't actually clean anything by itself unless the chlorine is releasing as the free radical like it does.
So do they mean sodium hydroxide? Do they mean SH or sodium
I'm assuming the
hydroxide?
HH is sodium
SH
hydroxide.
could be sodium hydroxide.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. If somebody's asking about sodium hydroxide, I mean, you know, that's more of a degreaser type product. It's great to remove pollutants, but not necessarily organic matter. The sodium hydroxide will loosen soils and make organic matters not cling to the surface as well, make them easier to remove, but it won't necessarily kill them as readily. When you're cleaning something with a chlorine bleach solution, you're actually doing something, I believe it's called colloiding the cells. There's actually an osmosis oxidation process that happens. The cells literally explode. And that's part of what makes all that stuff get so soft and easy to remove. You're just not getting that when you're doing something like SH or sodium hydroxide or any other product.
Like I said, there are people that don't. I mean, like depending on which SH there is. I've seen a lot of guys. I'm sure a lot of you guys are on the forums. I mean, you see these type of questions that really don't know the difference between chlorine and sodium hypochlorite. So,
we do hood cleaning, we do roof cleaning. The hood cleaning forums, they talk about SH, they're talking about sodium hydroxide. The roof cleaning forums, they talk about SH, they're talking about bleach. So there is a difference, and you don't want to use sodium hydroxide in place of because that's important for the new people to understand.
When the whole soft wash thing exploded here a few years ago, and on the forums, everybody started talking about SH, and I'm like, what the hell is spraying sodium hydroxide on everything for? Yeah, I'm just like, and then they're talking about mixing it with this other thing. I'm like, well,
Why you put soap in your soap? Yeah.
All right, so we got that. I think we got that one covered there. Hopefully. All right, this is a popular one. The big controversy: X-jetting or downstreaming. Seen this one going quite a few times. Who X-jets? All right. Who downstreams? There's that one.
Those both.
Both. Yeah. I mean, there's a time and place for each. I'm kind of from the old school. Old school, like I started downstreaming before the X-jetting thing came around, and it's hard to go back. I have guys. I mean, honestly, I ain't watched the damn thing. I don't know how long, but you know, I'm trying to get my guys to switch over to downstreaming. But it's hard. I mean, I've been X-jetting for so long, just switching everything over. You know, we've tweaked it a little bit. We run 100-foot hoses on our X-jet buckets, so we're not humping the bucket in 10 different places throughout the house. You know, I don't, like there's things you can change around for the X-jet, but yeah, most people don't like humping the bucket around. I mean, is there anybody got any other ideas that would help with the X-jet? Think they're just humping a bucket and moving it every 10 feet?
I think the X-jetting is safer. It's
As far as what?
As far as cost,
Yeah.
you burn a hose within a matter of 2 months with downstream to send chemical through it versus upstream it up. The hose lasts for at least 6 months, so why not spend $200 in hoses a year versus
I don't think anyone
$600?
goes through hoses that fast downstream. I know I don't. I have
Yeah,
hoses that
we don't.
last
I don't
months
think
and
that's
months.
Chemical burning.
Nothing happens to hoses when I'm downstreaming.
You're flushing enough of it. But no, I mean,
It's such a small percentage.
somebody did make like a full cart instead of just the dolly or the hand truck for moving their 5-gallon with an
Right.
X-jet. I've seen those where it's basically like a full behind wagon, because that's always why I would disagree a little bit just with X-jetting being safer, because if that spills, it's not spilling on my truck. It's not spilling on the driveway. It's spilling somewhere usually that's alive. It's then
very
going to
long.
be burned pretty badly.
Or the operator.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the...
Well, the sealed buckets on the X-jet,
Yeah,
those
now they
things
got that.
make a world of difference. It,
Yeah.
like I said, as long as they're actually closed, and
Hey, whoever invented it is a genius, man.
Yes.
It's just,
They got burned
you know.
one
Yes.
many
I've
times.
had this discussion with my coworkers for a long time. X-jet, I like the X-jet on houses, but downstreaming on surfaces,
Okay.
flat surfaces, and everybody else likes
I hear the opposite.
downstream.
I kind of hear the opposite with everybody when they
Yeah.
with the X-jet. That's why I want to hear. You know,
Well, the X-jet seems to me reaches a little farther and
Right.
gets a bigger area way up, because it just turns into a spray, and you're getting probably a 2 feet area, rather than if you're just using the hose barb or a 0 degree, you're only getting that much of the, you're only soaping that much of the area at the time. Plus the fact changing tips or something,
Right.
or going back and taking a hose out of the downstreamer
Oh, yeah.
is also. But what I usually do is just pour a gallon or a gallon and a half of bleach, sodium hypochlorite, in the bucket, put a little soap in it, take it to the back of the house,
Right.
fill it up back there. By the time I move it, because I put a 25-foot hose on there,
Okay.
by the time I move that bucket, it's half full. So
Right.
it's not really that big of a problem for me.
well, I think it's the short hose that it comes with, and people think you're
Yeah,
stuck with that.
I don't use that.
Yeah.
I use
300
put
foot.
What's that?
You put 300 foot on either one.
I haven't tried that. I would run 100 foot.
I've been told up to 300 foot. I run 120, 150 on X-Jets and on
Do
downstream.
you lose? You think you lose draw because of that?
Absolutely. Some.
or like I said, it's
Yeah, I've had somebody tell me that they've run 300 foot. and it's-
Well, why would you run 300 foot? You might as well just downstream. You have another tube running across the grass.
We X-jet, yeah, we X-jet 100. When we were X-jetting more, we're doing more downstreaming now. When we were X-jetting more, we were you run out the 120 foot X-jet hose, and you get to leave the container on one corner of the house. It sits there for a while. You don't have to keep moving it, which was nice.
See, I'll downstream and then when I'm going back round, if I've missed something, I'll X-jet.
You know what X-jet's good for? One man crew.
I agree.
Because that guy doesn't want to walk back to the truck 15 times.
Okay, who's walking back to trucks? That's why they have different pressure tips.
I walk in my truck and turn on and.
I walk back
Then
to
you
my
got
truck.
soap all over your hands every time you change the
You're,
tip.
I don't get soap on my hands. I have gloves on.
so it depends on what you're washing. Are you washing a lot of
How about you have
Okay,
two
I'll
X-jets,
have
No, I'm just saying, I
8
mean,
gallon bucket, and 2
I
guys,
agree, yeah.
you take two corner in 5 minutes.
Everyone's wrong.
Well, I mean, the whole point of it is it's two different tools for different things.
and honestly, they're both types of downstreaming.
Yeah.
All
still makes
right.
sense.
But the thing is, with the X-jet, you're lugging your chemical around with you. When you're downstream, it's on the trailer. You're not getting some
You're not necessarily letting the chemical around with you if you run enough hose. You might not have to take it off your truck.
Oh, yeah, man.
But what were you saying about,
That's the problem.
that's what the different tips are for? So if I'm cleaning 4 stories in the air from the ground, why would I want to use a high pressure tip for that?
If you use a shooter tip, if you use, by the time it gets
Because that's how I'm going to stop my downstream.
Have you used any shooter tips? By the time it gets up there, it's
Okay.
low pressure.
Game changer.
I'm just going residential stuff here. I don't see any residential stuff around that that's 4 stories, 3.5 maybe. But to rinse, for instance, and that to rinse that, in that instance, I would run back, hit my ball valve or bypass.
Size machine are you using?
5.5 gallon.
Because if you have an 8-gallon a minute machine that we put downstream, and then
You got higher cameras.
if you keep telling me, oh, you have to use these 20 worthless tips, and it's going to stop me downstream. No, I'm not sure. I still draws the camera, so we have to pull. We can't.
That's why I like low pressure.
yeah, I kind of like the interaction.
And see, like, all this thing
Yeah, sometimes.
Next question.
Next question, guys.
Well, like I said, like the debate, it's kind of what we were going back and forth, but kind of so everybody can hear the conversation. You know what I mean? If somebody's got something that, it's almost like we could do like a rebuttal. Like
Let's
come up
vote
and
for
say,
it. Let's vote for it.
Yeah.
Nobody can ever use an X-jet or downstream.
We gotta solve it now.
hey, the age-old question.
Okay, let's move on to who likes Obama.
You should technically be able to put stronger soap on like the X-Jet.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, but
Definitely.
the only thing with that though is some people don't figure out that you've changed your mix.
Yeah.
Somebody says, oh, the X-Jet's the most amazing thing, and he used a completely different strength mix than what he'd been downstreaming with, and the technology or the
I've watched
tool
guys like
didn't change.
I've watched guys not put the proportioner in. My guys not put the proportioner in.
Proportioner's jog. I've never used
Yeah,
it.
never used it. We don't use
We always throw something in to slow it down because, man, they would drain a whole bucket of bleach like that. I mean, it's just like 2 minutes later, it's like the whole bucket of bleach is on 10 square foot of house, and you're like, okay, guys, like.
Well, and that's the thing, with the X-Jet, it's gonna put out more chemical unless you put
Good
the
luck
little
corralling
portion
this
in
discussion.
to slow it down, to make it like a downstream.
My best guy adjusts with the valve. I mean,
Okay?
he actually adjusts how strong it is with the little valve.
Yeah, like,
But why not just put 1 gallon of bleach in a 5-gallon bucket
Right.
instead of 2?
yeah,
That's what
we
it should
do.
come down
That's
to.
what we've done with the X-Jets, is if we're going to wash vinyl, we'll put 1 gallon into our bucket, 1 gallon of bleach. If
Too
we're gonna
much bleach, man.
If we're gonna be washing
Bleach is expensive.
stucco,
Labor's
we'll put
expensive.
2.
Bleach it, man.
2.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Labor, bleach it,
And
man.
adjust the ratio there,
Yeah.
where with the downstreaming, you do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, Bill.
It's the same
I
tool.
want to add an element to this. Is there anybody here that would argue that using their soft wash system to apply the soap is better?
I don't want to. I agree.
Disruptive.
Yeah. Oh,
That I'll tell you what. That kind of. I mean, I've seen guys do that too.
I
I'd
mean,
love to hear the
you
insight.
guys are using some strong pumps to get it as high as your pressure washer.
Yeah, the Udo.
Yeah, I have 3 doors, and I have never downstreamed, upstreamed. I have my mix. I don't use bleach on houses. We have our Parabright soap, it's a regular fleet washing soap we use, and that goes through a 1.5 gallon minute pump at 100 psi. We run 2 lines out. Takes us 3 hours to wash the house, 2.5 to 3 hours. We have great money. I give a 3-year warranty with it, and that's why we have 7,000 customers on the list. So, what bleach we just use for roofs, stucco, and right, just to share that with you. I'll show you the truck setup on the water tank. Those pressure pumps that Russ has up here. That's what's the name of that pump there, Russ? That big one?
That's our Liquiforce?
That's the kind of pump. If you want no BS, separate line come out of the truck. I keep it idiot proof for my nuts.
That's a big part of the trick.
Right. Just to share it.
You know what? I'm using, and I'm listening to the downstream. We always keep X-Jets on the truck. My guys will use the X-Jets just to rinse sometimes and put it on the tip. When we're under time, if I got 5 houses to do on a truck for the day, and we want to kick it in the ass, and I go, crank it up, you know, and I'll meet them on the job. I'll do the mix to show them how to be faster. We crank up the mix. I pull out the soft wash lines, and we're using 12-volt pumps. Jeez. My 12-volt pump will reach the top of any 2-story, 2.5-story house. The 7 gallons a minute. I crank up the mix. I got one guy pulling the hose. One guy's hitting chem in the house with the chemical jacked up. By the time he gets to the second side, there's not a speck of dirt on it because it's like a roof mix almost. It's a jacked down roof mix. The second guy's just coming behind and washing. I can wash a house in, like, if I want to.
Right.
We could do a house in like an hour. I mean, an hour and a half.
2,000 square foot
totally
house.
clean, 2.5 years, 3 years before it needs to be seen again. There's nothing living. You know, you got to be careful doing it like that. You got to be careful of the surroundings.
Right.
Pre and post rinse all your live, anything living around the house.
You're using 12-volt machine.
12-volt pump, 7 gallon. You know, I buy them off a column when I need them. You know, he's got them. The point is, there's more than one way to do it. I never downstreamed. I own 2 downstreamers. I couldn't understand how I was going to get. I didn't know about the long tips because I'm thinking I'm not getting on a ladder unless I don't want to move the ladder around anymore.
You can downstream with the long tips.
Well, see, this I don't. Again, it's something that. So we would always use X-Jets. We're pulling pumps around.
Right.
I'm telling you, if you use your soft wash equipment,
that jet.
Take advantage of it.
You're going to use more chemical. You're going to use more sodium hypochlorite.
Right.
But you're going to be twice as fast. So you maybe use another $12 in sodium hypochlorite.
I think people look oversight the chemical cost. That's a little. They get a little carried away with thinking too far into that. But
You should have skipped that question.
What's that?
You should have skipped that question.
Hey, you know what? It's funny.
I'm joking.
I mean, I want to learn when I came with it as well because it's well, as far as the downstream injection myself, actually, question: how often do you have any problems with them? Like, I mean, every couple of days, where they're not. Yeah, I hear guys that say they replace them every couple of days. Some that last for months.
Injector for 2 years.
That's crazy.
I had the same
What
one.
kind?
I had to replace
Yes,
it.
I know. I
Right. Yeah, they're not going anywhere unless they walk up.
You put it right into the
It's who uses a pump-up sprayer up and down a ladder? All right. That's that. All right. We'll let you guys do it.
Nobody else ever uses
Insider
the
tip.
pump sprayer?
Okay. The best one Home Depot sells.
We're kind of of the philosophy of whatever it takes. So, for example, we did the really crazy condos that you know. We did some really crazy condos. We're talking 5 stories tall, 600-foot runs on the harbor, like on the water. You can't just spray them with bleach. You can't just go in there and X-jet downstream. But you have to apply bleach where there's mildew in bad spots. That's where the bottle sprayer comes in. So you guys can laugh, but that was a $30,000 gig.
Hey, whatever it takes to get the job done. It's kind of philosophy here, but
Exactly.
I mean, like I said,
if you guys want to talk about making money with bottle sprayers, like that's Craig Harrison's entire business model that he wants to teach you.
actually, you know what? Got a little plug here, Russ. The remote deals on the downstream injectors. What do they run?
250 for a single, 350 for the dual.
Okay.
For the show.
Is it-
That should be a zero.
Has anybody used those? What do you think?
Well,
And like I said, the back and forth. I hear you talking about the nozzle. Like I said, I'm far removed from the downstream. I'm trying to get my guys to go back. Just because it's more efficient for the most part. We have 8 residential trucks that run every day, and trying to switch them back to that is hard because most of the guys working it out weren't downstreaming years ago. So, and I'm trying to reminisce, like think back, like, how do you do this? And you know what I mean, and trying to get it back to that point, but it's hard. And I had 1 or 2 that switched over. One of them has already wanted to get back to the X-Shed. That's why I was thinking if the remote deals are worthwhile.
I'll switch tips to wherever I need to go.
Okay.
But if I put a pressure tip in it, it'll still draw soap. So that's why, I mean, the remote works for me because I just turn it off.
That's pretty cool.
Is that remote a pumping soap, or is it just a switch back and forth?
It's just turn it on and off.
It's drawing soap.
So you obviously got your still Kim that's still in the line. Yeah, I mean, it draws through, and then, you know, I'm just trying to, like I said, weigh the options here of what, some of these guys X-Shed and some of them, it's just amazing the different philosophies and hit you hear about it.
I downstream and use the X-Jet to rinse, and you don't have to go back to the bucket and pull it up.
I've heard that before too. Now, what flow machines are you using? 5s?
5.5, yeah.
Okay. I tell you what, I noticed the big difference is that we had to jerry rig some stuff up with switching from, we've moved some machines to the 8-gallon minute machines. And trying to fire an X-Jet on it when you're up there like
Those
close to a
X-Jets
house on a
them
porch.
8-gallon a minute machines are what made me stop using them. It's insane.
Well,
it's like,
yeah, but basically, and I wish I had a picture of it with me.
you've never seen anything like it.
We just put a ball valve on it, and it's got a quick connect where the X-Jet is, and you put a J-rod on the end of it. Just pull the adjustable head off, and that made a world of difference.
I was doing that for a while, and then everything just rusted and rotted so fast because it's got all that pure bleach in it all the time. I got tired of wasting all the metal. So but yeah, the 8-gallon a minute machine with the X-Jet, the problem is you can't get an orifice size big enough to get the pressure as low as you want. Their largest orifice is like 20 or something.
Yeah.
And that 0, when you switch it to 0 and you're trying to hit the top, you cannot get it as high as if you downstream. And that's where I see a lot of differences in this argument automatically. The difference is between the size of the machine. Yeah, the X-Jet's wonderful on a 5-gallon a minute machine. As soon as you drop it on a 10, it's not even working. So, like,
couldn't you reduce the pressure artificially by just choking the ball valve on the line? I mean, you're going to decrease some of it, but you could then at the very least pull. I mean, and that's where we go back to the dedicated plug with a 12 volt. You're hitting just about
you can also turn the unloader down potentially. You can't stop that gallon a minute trying to push it. So there's that. Yeah.
All right, who's switching after our in-depth conversation? All right, that worked well. And all right.
I'm switching to all bottle sprayer. All
Hey.
I'm moving to California.
Scrubbing, right?
To each their own.
Neck person scrub.
What is the magic mix to get stripes off of gutters? Okay.
Which magic mix?
That's what we're asking.
Pure bleach.
Awesome.
Pure bleach.
Seen that? Without scrubbing. I'm assuming is what the rest of the question says to me.
Wood last.
50% sodium hydroxide, because you can't actually buy it any stronger than that. It pretty much would be a solid almost at that point. Or pure bleach is probably about the most effective spray-on solution I've ever seen.
Russ, you sell a gutter cleaner now, right?
I got several gutter cleaners, but yeah, our latest one's Blue Blast.
Okay.
No butyl, no caustic, no phosphates. It won't strip paint, and it's effective up to 30 to 1.
What about
but you do still have to brush that damn thing.
But it's a lot safer than pure bleach or pure hydroxide.
Well, I tell you what. That's the temperature.
We use our bottle sprayer for that, by the way, too. We will actually apply pure bleach to gutters, and many times they come out very, very, very good compared to what we thought they ever would. And it's much different than putting house wash on, where it just doesn't cut it the same.
Right.
But sometimes they'll just clarify from the pure bleach.
Well, the temperature, that's what I was around some of the temperature gets down to a certain temperature. I mean, I've used I think it was F13. That stuff wouldn't work unless it's 60 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of limits,
We developed the Blue Blast this past summer. So
Right.
we really haven't got any exposure to cooler temperatures to see how well it's going to work.
Okay.
We'll let you know.
I'll find out. Got a free sample, I'll let you know. It's all good.
Turn up your water temp when you're X-jetting the gutter cleaner on it.
So you
When
X-jet
I
your gutter
X-jet
cleaner.
gutter cleaner, I turn up the water temp and it'll work till like 45, 50 maybe.
So you
And
X-jet
then
your
scrub
gutter
it.
cleaner up there?
I got scrub.
You X-jet it up there?
X-jet gutter cleaner.
Or you using a butyl-based cleaner?
Yeah.
And you don't have any problem with different types of siding or different?
My method on spray the soap on the siding, the house wash on everything, including the gutters.
Right.
That'll clean off the mildew off the gutters, and then everything's soaking wet. Spray the gutter cleaner on the gutters,
Okay.
scrub the gutters, rinse everything, and make sure your windows are rinsed good before you start scrubbing the gutters. And then scrub, then rinse, and works fine. No spots or anything.
Now, I also noticed, well, since everything's wet, do you have any problem with the chemical not strong enough you're shooting up here since everything's already damp? I've noticed that on gutters as well. If you're already in a wet area, I always tell the guys to shoot down away the opposite direction where they're scrubbing to. You know what I mean? So they're not wetting the gutter ahead of them.
You can only do like 30 feet at a time before it dries. So you got to get up there, go from right to left, because the threads on the brush, you go from left to right.
Right.
You're going to be unscrewing the brush, which probably
That's pain.
and then just scrub, and then it's done.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alright.
I apply gutter cleaner, I just brush it on.
Throw it all in the brush.
Bring the pole down, let it sit, and then brush it, and then rinse it.
Well, you notice I saw a guy, we were shooting a chemical, I saw something the other day on the forum with a guy, it was a hardy plank, I think. He was ended up painting that thing.
Yeah, that bothered me.
Yeah, I didn't hear right.
The other day.
I was embarrassed. That was me, Jared. Sorry.
Gutter cleaner will take oxidation off siding.
Oh, yeah.
And if there's oxidation off the siding and you got spots, spray it. I have sprayed lighter dilution of gutter cleaner to take off the rest of the oxidation, so it looks all the same.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think he
Rather
just
than
put the stuff
paint.
on straighters. I looked like it took the paint right off the damn thing.
Yeah.
Whatever he was doing.
It could take paint off depending on how strong you have.
Oh yeah. Especially on hardy plank or something that's temperamental of that nature, I can only
I
imagine.
think a lot of guys are confused about what they're doing and how it works too with gutter cleaning, because you literally have to remove the bad enamels. You have to remove the oxidized bad enamel. That's what the dirt is burning into. That's what you're trying to do. And if you're using something like butyl, you're burning good enamel with it.
So there's only so many gutter scrubs you're going to get.
Right, these
Basically
other
that
things
house.
are trying to just attack the oxidation, but the reason that it's not 100% is because sometimes the stain is actually burned into the good enamel. The reason you can't get it out is because you have to damage the good enamel to get it out. The problem with gutters is the white enameling process in the first place. It's why it's the only place it's happening in the house. It's like the white powder coat does not hold up well on metal. Have you guys noticed that the beige ones don't do it?
Yes.
The beige ones just wipe right off or clean right off. They don't do it because they don't oxidize.
Don't even most beige ones don't even get dirty.
So, like, have you ever noticed sometimes you're scrubbing a gutter and like suddenly it's just not working as well as it was 2 feet ago? You know what I'm talking about? That's because the cleaner on your brush is now no good. It's already full of oxidized stuff and it's no good. You need to rinse it off and put new cleaner on it. Suddenly it starts working great again. And I know a lot of new guys like miss that for years and keep trying to figure it out.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's the ugliest part of the house. I mean, and it takes longer to scrub the gutters than to wash the house.
Yeah.
So you're trying to explain it to a customer. We typically upcharge for a gutter scrub. I hate to do it, but I mean, they have to weigh the two options. It's sometimes they don't realize how clean it could be, and with a gutter scrub you can bring it back. Sometimes you're not bringing it back.
I think part of that issue there too is educating them that the gutter exterior isn't dirty, the paint itself is
going.
Well, it's giving them the price for the 2 different levels of clean for the gutter.
Right.
And you can price it accordingly if you don't want to do it, or to make it really, really worth your time that you're going to, if you do end up doing on those ones. But that way the customer sees right ahead, oh, well, the outside's going to be clean, but there may be a little bit of striping there unless I pay $150 or $200 or whatever it may be extra to get that level of clean.
There still might be some stripe.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's almost got to. I tell my guys always do a test area first, before they even start scrubbing in it, because you go to gutter, it looks like it's in great shape. You just want to lighten up a little bit, and you got chrome gutters by the time you're done. Mm-hmm. That's an upsell too, the chrome gutter, no charge. So not the rest of the way. But it actually brings us to one of the other questions about the levels. This is on residential, and the levels of house washing. Who does the packages as far as the I guess the the premium, the cheapo, whatever you want to call it, or
We do packages.
do the different packages here?
What was the question?
Trying to wonder who does different packages here, as far as not necessarily. Well, I guess you could put it that way too, but as far as like, the gold, the bottom line, the basic, who does like levels of service? I think that's what it means.
We do levels, but not level clean. It actually is, but it's more of what we're doing. Like one pack would be just the house, one would be house and white and gutters, then one would be the house, white and gutters, and clean the windows.
Okay.
But we're gonna clean the house the same on all the packages.
Right.
Get the house clean, but it's what they want done. Not.
And that's how we do it too. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, you can obviously like we discount to do the house, roof, deck, all at one time kind of deal.
Right.
I think this is more of like how they do it. Like, and I kind of seen this a couple of different ways as far as like the house wash, signing up for different service. I'm assuming it's like maybe they're talking about if you sign up for a yearly service, it's going to be this much as compared to the one-time type deal. And I think you were kind of talking about a little bit of different packages. You have different packages that you offer as far as like.
It's just gonna be another one. That's, I guess, for me, any estimate that I'm doing in person, I'm handwriting each individual thing. I don't have, that's what I asked the question, but, if somebody who does that, do you already have your estimate sheet? Does it have, here are, your 3 things, like you're going to the car wash and you're just putting in, here's the numbers for this house for this option, this option, this option for the car wash, it's already pre-filled out? Or is it, like with me, I'm pricing, here's your price for the siding, here's for the deck, here's for the sidewalk, here's for the roof, here's for the gutters, and here's pricing if you do these 3, if you do all 5, or whatever it may be. I mean, that's kind of like, I wouldn't say that I do packages, but I'm certainly going to do multi-service.
Sure. That's more
It's
upsell.
essentially the same thing. It's like
That's more upselling than packaging.
I think you're more talking about somebody that's washing the siding, somebody that's washing and then waxing, and then somebody that's hand scrubbing the siding.
I'm thinking that's where it's getting back as far as. And like I said,
who asked the question? Just if they would elaborate.
well, some of these I got here, some of them I got online. So.
I know, like the responsive bid, they have like you can set it up like if you use that program you can set it up for silver, gold, and
That's what I think. That's what they're referring to.
yeah, and one might include a gutter brushing, a gutter scrubbing, the other one doesn't. One's just a basic house wash. And
Exjet or downstream.
exactly.
Which method would you
An a la carte menu.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, like Ever was talking about, they make you come out and scrub the house. I mean, who scrubs the house? I know you're saying it, but I mean, I'm just trying to figure out if anybody.
We have a competitor that does that.
That's what I figure. That's what I usually hear.
Yeah.
Besides the gutters.
He's not really competitive.
And so, what's the reasoning?
Charges high end.
Well, yeah.
So,
I've only had one person ever ask.
so if somebody comes out there, so they're charging a premium by, they're like customer seats. You're taking the extra effort. And you're scrubbing the whole side of the house.
That's how they used to do it. They had pressure washers. They still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like you go to your car wash, you can drive through and get the spray wax on, or you can pull your car aside and do the hand,
Right.
the wax, for an extra $50, $50.
You pay me, if you want the house wash, you're paying us, I don't give a shit. I'm on the bottom line.
Yeah.
Guess I got an answer.
Well, you know where a lot of that comes from, and this was just on one of those Facebook groups too, and I responded to it. A lot of this stuff comes from people picking a marketing niche because of the damage done by pressure washers.
Yeah.
Sure. So that's why people say, oh, well, you had damage done before, here's your option. I'm the guy that scrubs your house. They charge a premium dollar, and they don't care. They're getting paid for whatever they're doing.
Well, like I said, I still see people. We go to customers' houses and they're talking about the guy blew my siding off and went Zorro down the side of the house and you try to explain to them, you're trying to coerce them, man, we saw why we don't do it that way, and they're still kind of you almost got to bring the machine out, to just to prove to them. But I mean, they're taking a chance. I mean, I'd be a little leery too if at your house.
Yeah, but did you tell them why did you hire the guy that charged you $95?
But I seen guys in the basement doing work.
No, you have to tell
You'd be
them.
surprised.
I mean,
Well, you get what you paid for, but I mean, there's people that
yeah, but
that guy might
if
have
you
charged
tell
them
them you get what
$500.
you paid for, you make the math. But if you ask them why they hired the guy that cost them $95 and
Right.
their house got blown away, it ain't your fault.
But at the same time, you never know if it was the customer that did it or not. I mean, I went up to house, cheap, international family, I know they went with somebody else, I came back 2 years later, looked at the same house, in the same price again that I came last time because I'm not changing, and I can see their entire garage door is Zorroed to all Kingdom Come.
I asked them if
Just
they
didn't-
power washed it themselves.
No, didn't even, you know what? Clearly you guys didn't care, and it still looks like this 2 years later, it still looks like Zorro went, you know.
And like I said, I mean,